Okay, so you have found a job ad for a tenure track job. It looks pretty interesting, but it doesn't quite align. It might be just a teeny tiny bit off. Something in that description doesn't. You think, I don't know if I'm really a perfect fit for this. So how do you know when to apply or not when you're reading these job ads? How precisely should your own area of expertise align with the job description? That's what we're talking about in this video. Hi everyone, I'm Leigh from teachingacademia.com, and I'm all about giving you the tools you need to navigate academia to make your best impact. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you get notifications because I put out new videos each week. So in this video, we're talking about job ads, and specifically, you've come across a tenure track job. You've read it, you thought, hey, you know what? This looks kind of interesting, but it doesn't precisely align. So how do you know when to apply or not? Now, this is obviously, use your best judgment here, and there's probably some variation by discipline, of course, so let's acknowledge that up front. But first of all, here's the first thing I'm going to tell you to do. Check to make sure that you meet the minimum requirements. So typically a lot of job ads will say, here's our list of requirements, and here's our list of things that we would like, but they're not really requirements, okay? We're just gonna be maybe more interested in you. You might do better in this job if you have like these, preferred things, okay? So for example, if the minimum requirement says you have to have a PhD or your PhD must be completed before you start the job, and you have a bachelor's degree, right? Then you don't meet the minimum requirements. You cannot be considered for the job if having a PhD or, that you're gonna be finished by the start date, if that's the minimum requirement, okay? So other things that I have seen, in my field of education, a lot of times you'll see a requirement of must have 3 years of classroom teaching experience in a particular area of expertise. Okay, so if it says like must have 3 years of K-12 teaching experience in mathematics, for example. If you have 1 year teaching, 5th grade mathematics, and you have 2 years working as an online mathematics tutor, that doesn't count, okay? That's not 3 years of K-12 mathematics teaching, all right? So make sure you meet the minimum requirements. If you apply and you don't meet the minimum requirements, you will get kicked out. It doesn't matter how awesome or amazing you might be for the job. Legally, we can't look at you. Like, we can't consider you in the hiring pool, right? We can look at you and go, doesn't meet the minimum requirements, and then we got to set you aside, okay? So, so let's say you meet the minimum requirements. You've read this job, you like it, but you're like, I'm not sure if I'm quite a fit. There's something about it. It doesn't quite align, but I do meet these minimum requirements. I'm going to tell you, go ahead and apply, okay? Because here's the thing, to some extent, it's a numbers game and it's a fit game. Okay, so you're going to have lots of people applying for a tenure track job. A lot of search committees that I've been on in my career, we could have like maybe 70 people applying for a tenure track job. Of that, I can usually cut it down to 20 without a lot of work, because you're going to have people that don't meet the minimum requirements, had incomplete applications, that sort of thing. And then usually from 20, I can get it down to 10 pretty easily. And then there's discussion amongst the committee usually about, who do we want to have phone interviews for. So when you're looking at things like preferred qualifications in a job ad, that's where you might say, you know what, I don't precisely fit all of those. So preferred, nobody expects you to fit all of those most likely. You might see a list of like, here's 4 minimum requirements that you have to meet in order to be considered. And then here's 10 things that we would just love if you have. Well, if you've got 1 of them, great. If you've got 5 of them, great. You probably don't have all 10 of the preferred requirements or however many they list. Nobody does, okay? And I would also say nobody is ever, for the most part, when they read a job ad, a 100% exact alignment, okay? Most people, if they meet the minimum requirements, when they go on from there, and this includes myself when I've looked at job ads in the past, you sort of meet some of those, okay? And if it just looks interesting, then I always tell people apply, because here's what's going to happen if you apply. 1 of 2 things. Either you're going to get invited, let's say, for a phone interview or a campus interview, or nobody's going to contact you. So what you got to lose, right? So, and if you get invited for a phone interview, then or a campus interview, then that is both for you and the committee a chance to sort of figure out more about each other and how well you might fit for this position. So it doesn't hurt. There's nothing bad's going to come of this. The worst case scenario is that you're not going to get contacted. But I'm going to have to break some bad news to you. You're going to apply for jobs that you're like, I am a really good fit for this job, and you're not going to get contacted because somebody else had a stronger application, was a better match, presented themselves in a way that the committee preferred. I don't know, but keep that in mind as well. So you want, I think, my thing is if you think you're slightly interested in the job and you meet the minimum requirements, go ahead and apply. You're not being hired. You're not saying you want the job. Nobody's saying they want you for the job. All you're saying is, I'm interested in talking to you more if you are interested in talking to me more. And I think that is, something that's worth your time. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch all of my videos. And while you're at it, head down to the comment section and let's talk. What questions do you have about the job application process? What things confuse you when you read these job ads for tenure track positions? What have you figured out about how to read these job ads and things that help you determine if you're going to apply for a job or not? Put that in the comments and let's talk so we can help each other move forward on our academic journeys.